Why is my face kissing my ex-wife? Nathan whispered, staring at the photo that shouldn't exist. The image glowed on his phone screen, bright and unreal. Julia in her wedding dress, smiling with a man whose hand rested on her waist. The man was him. Same crooked smile, same faint scar near the right brow, same tired eyes that had watched her walk out 2 years ago. He blinked once, twice, waiting for the illusion to break, but it didn't. The caption under the picture was colder than any lie. Forever begins again. Julia and Michael, 2025. Nathan's coffee went untouched. The cafe around him buzzed with life, cups clinking, music humming, but none of it felt real anymore. His heartbeat drowned everything. He zoomed in on the image, tracing the shape of his own face on another man's life. People commented like it was just another love story. Perfect couple. He's so handsome. She deserves happiness. And then, one that made his stomach twist. He looks just like your ex, LOL. He wanted to laugh, scream, break the screen. Instead, he just stared. It wasn't just resemblance. It was him. Every detail. He'd spent 40 years learning the topography of that face, shaving it, bleeding it, aging with it, and now it belonged to someone else. He scrolled Julia's profile. Dozens of new photos, all with Michael. Birthday parties, beach selfies, a honeymoon hashtag. Every picture showed the same man, Nathan's reflection living a better life. His throat burned. He whispered, "No, this can't be real." He left the cafe without paying, walking fast, the phone still glowing in his hand. Sunlight cut across his face, reflecting off windows, and every reflection felt wrong, delayed, distorted, slightly off. By the time he reached his car, sweat soaked through his shirt. He sat behind the wheel, heart hammering like a trapped thing. He dialed Julia's number. The call rang once, twice, then her voicemail. "Hey, it's Julia, leave a message." He ended the call before the beep. Her voice used to calm him. Now it crawled through his head like static. He tried another number. Mark, an old friend who'd known them both. "Mark, it's me," he said, breath shaking. "Did you see Julia's wedding post?" Mark laughed. "Yeah, man. Crazy, right? Didn't think she'd get married so soon." Nathan swallowed hard. "Did you look at him?" "What do you mean?" "The guy she married. He's me." There was a pause. "You mean he looks like you?" "No. He is me. The scar, the eyes, the way he stands, it's all me." "Okay, maybe chill for a sec, Nate." He hung up. There was no point. Words couldn't explain something that made no sense. He drove until he reached Julia's neighborhood, the one he'd avoided for years but never stopped imagining. Her house was smaller now, cleaner, with a red mailbox wrapped in wedding ribbon. He parked 2 houses away, the phone still in his lap. Then the door opened. Julia stepped out in a white sundress, laughing into her phone. And behind her came the man, him. Same height, same frame, same scars shining under the afternoon sun. Nathan froze. The man carried boxes, smiled easily, kissed Julia's temple like he'd done it for years. Nathan's pulse roared. He wanted to scream her name, but his voice caught in his throat. The man went back inside. Julia followed. The door closed. Nathan sat there until the sky dimmed and streetlights flickered on. When he finally drove home, his reflection in the rearview mirror felt like a stranger's. That night, he couldn't sleep. Every mirror in the apartment reflected suspicion. He turned them all toward the walls. But when he shut his eyes, he still saw it. Julia's hand resting on that face, her laughter pressing against his stolen features. By morning, he had one thought: prove it. He went to the city records office. The clerk typed his name, then frowned. Date of birth. He gave it. More typing. "I'm sorry," she said slowly. "There must be a mistake. This record says Nathan Cole is deceased." His stomach dropped. "What?" She turned the screen slightly. "Car accident, 6 months ago. Filed by next of kin, Julia Cole." The room tilted. "That's impossible. I'm standing right here." She blinked uneasy. "Sir, maybe there's another." "Print it," he demanded. The printer whirred. She handed him the paper, certificate of death, his name, his date of birth, even a low-resolution photo of his driver's license. He stared at it until the words blurred. He stumbled out into the street, the paper trembling in his hands. The world looked normal, but it wasn't. People brushed past him without noticing. He whispered, "I'm not dead." No one heard. Back home, he searched his name online. The obituary was everywhere. Nathan Cole, beloved husband of Julia Cole, passed peacefully after a tragic accident. There were sympathy comments, photos, even an old memory post tagged with hashtag RIP Nathan. His hands shook as he clicked through. The photos were from his life, his apartment, his clothes, his smile, but they were uploaded under someone else's name. His death had been public, mourned, archived. And then he saw it, a news clip, a reporter standing by a river, describing a fatal crash. The image flashed of a burnt car and a covered body. Authorities identified the victim using facial reconstruction technology. Facial reconstruction. The words dug into him. His throat tightened. He jumped as his phone buzzed. A number, Julia's. He answered instantly. Julia? But the voice wasn't hers. Who is this? The man's tone was calm, measured, unsettlingly familiar. Nathan froze. You know exactly who I am. A pause, then a soft laugh. No, I don't think I do. Click. The line went dead. He stared at the screen. Call ended. Julia Cole, 004. He whispered into the silence. You can't take my life. But the apartment lights flickered, and the laptop on his desk glowed awake by itself. The login screen already showing his name, his face. Only, the reflection on the glass didn't blink when he did. It smiled. Nathan stepped back, breath shallow. The cursor moved on its own, typing slowly across the screen. We already did. His voice cracked into the empty room. Who are you? No answer. Just the quiet hum of the machine, steady, alive, and mocking. And as the reflection smiled wider, Nathan felt the first tear slip down his cheek. Somewhere, out there, another version of him was living, breathing, loving. And the world believed that was the real one. The man left behind in the shadows was just a ghost in his own skin, a name already buried, a memory rewritten. He shut the laptop, trembling, the echo of the image burned into his mind. For the first time, he realized this wasn't about resemblance or coincidence. Someone had stolen not just his face, but his place in the world. And as the city lights flickered beyond the window, Nathan whispered to himself, with quiet certainty, the truth that would haunt him from this night on. They killed me while I was still alive. Chapter 2, The Double, 1,000 Words. I'm not dead, Nathan said again, his voice cracking through the receiver. The clerk on the other end hesitated, papers rustling faintly. Sir, the record is official, she said softly. You were pronounced deceased 6 months ago. I'm looking at the certificate right now. Her tone carried the same distant sympathy reserved for lunatics and ghosts. The line clicked, and Nathan was left listening to the flat hum of the dial tone. His reflection in the dark screen of his phone looked like something from a morgue, pale, drained, fading. He threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall, fell to the floor, and the sound echoed longer than it should have. He stood in the silence, chest heaving, staring at the fragments of glass scattered near his feet. I'm not dead, he whispered again, quieter this time, like a prayer he needed the universe to hear. He opened his laptop, his fingers trembling as he typed his own name into the government database. The result was immediate. Nathan Cole, status, deceased. The screen even displayed a thumbnail of his driver's license photo beside a small gray cross. He clicked the file. It opened to an obituary page, clean and polite. Beloved husband. Honest worker. Gone too soon. It was signed by Julia. The same Julia who is now married to the man wearing his face. The obituary had a photo, his smile, his tie, the same one from their last anniversary dinner. His lungs tightened. Beneath it, hundreds of condolences. He was a good man. May he rest in peace. She was lucky to have him. God bless Julia for staying strong. He scrolled further. A comment from Michael Cole, the name of his replacement, read, "He'll always live through us." Nathan slammed the laptop shut so hard the screen flickered white. His pulse pounded in his ears. The world had buried him while he was still breathing. By afternoon, he was standing outside the clinic that issued the death certificate, Regan Biotech. The building was a perfect mirror of modern calm. Glass walls, silver letters, an air that smelled of antiseptic control. He pushed through the doors, past the receptionist's rehearsed smile. "I need to talk to someone about a mistake in your records," he said. "Do you have an appointment?" "I'm not here for a checkup. You people declared me dead." Her smile froze. "Your name?" "Nathan Cole." She typed, then frowned slightly. "One moment." She made a call in a voice too polite to be genuine. 2 security guards appeared near the elevators, subtle but deliberate. "I'm sorry, sir," she said. "There's no Nathan Cole in our active database." "Check the inactive ones," he snapped. "I can't access those without authorization." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Someone here used my data. My face. My DNA. I want answers." Her expression didn't change, but her eyes flicked toward a small camera in the corner. "Please wait outside, Mr. Cole." He turned and walked out before the guards moved. The glass doors closed behind him, and his reflection stared back from their surface, ghostly, translucent. For the first time, he wondered if maybe he really was gone to the world. That night, his apartment felt smaller, colder. He unplugged every device, laptop, TV, router, but the lights still flickered like something unseen was watching. He opened his fridge and found it half empty, food expired. His phone, somehow repaired, buzzed on the counter though he hadn't touched it. The screen lit up with a message from an unknown number. "Stop digging, Nathan. You got your wish." He dropped the phone as if it burned. The phrase echoed in his head. "You got your wish." What wish? To disappear? To be forgotten? The thought crawled through his chest like ice. At midnight, he drove to Mark's apartment. His friend opened the door groggy, confused. "Jesus, Nate, it's midnight." "I need you to tell me something," Nathan said, pushing past him. "When I called you yesterday, did I sound like me?" Mark blinked. "What are you talking about? Did my voice sound normal?" "Yeah, maybe tired." "Why?" "Because apparently I'm dead. Officially. There's a certificate, an obituary, a grave. I just saw it." Mark's eyes narrowed. "A grave?" "Yes." Mark exhaled. "You're scaring me, man. Maybe you need to rest." "I don't need rest. I need the truth. Look at this." Nathan pulled a folded paper from his jacket, the death certificate. Mark read it, his brow furrowing deeper with every line. "Julia filed this?" "Yes." Mark set it down slowly. "Okay, maybe it's insurance fraud or something. She could have used your name." "It's not that simple. Someone's using my face. My voice. They replaced me." Mark rubbed his temple. "Nate, listen to yourself." "Come with me tomorrow," Nathan interrupted. "I'll prove it." Mark hesitated, then nodded. "Fine. Tomorrow." Nathan left, but even after the door shut, he heard Mark whisper to himself, "If he's really dead, then who the hell was that?" By dawn, Nathan was parked outside the city archives. The security cameras followed him like eyes as he slipped inside through the side entrance. He found the morgue records room, cold, metallic, silent. He scanned through the digital archives until he found it. Cole, Nathan, body identified via facial reconstruction. Donor, Regan Biotech. His pulse froze. Donor. He opened the linked file. The screen displayed an image of a 3D model, a face stripped to digital muscle and bone, reconstructed for therapeutic replication. Below it, the words, Subject 9A, Facial Restoration Program. Approved for transplant simulation. A sound behind him made him spin. A janitor stood at the door, watching. "You're not supposed to be here." Nathan stepped closer. "Who uses this lab after hours?" The man looked nervous. "No one. Not since they shut down the identity trials. Someone died." Nathan's breath hitched. "Who?" The janitor shook his head. backing away. You should go before they find you. Before who finds me? Nathan wanted to ask, but the man disappeared down the hall. The fluorescent lights above flickered once, twice, then stabilized. He copied the data onto a flash drive and slipped it into his pocket. On his way out, his reflection in the glass door caught his eye again. For a heartbeat, it didn't move when he did. He leaned closer, breath fogging the glass. The other version of him smiled faintly, slow, deliberate, before fading as if sinking into the reflection itself. Nathan stumbled backward, heart racing. He pressed his hand against the door, trembling. The glass was cold, but it felt alive, pulsing faintly beneath his palm. Outside, the city lights shimmered like static. Somewhere out there, a man with his face was living his life, and the world believed it. He took one last look at his reflection in the window of a passing car. For a second, he thought he saw two of himself in the same glass, one watching, one walking away. He whispered, "If he's me, then what am I?" The streetlight above him flickered out, plunging his reflection into darkness. Chapter 3, The Clinic, 1,000 Words. Why does my face have a client ID? Nathan whispered, staring at the paused frame on the screen. The footage he'd stolen from the city archives flickered faintly in the glow of his laptop, grainy security footage from Regan Biotech. There, in the sterile white of a lab, his image turned slowly on a rotating holographic model. Data strings ran across the edges. Height, bone density, retinal scan, facial template, subject 9A. Beneath that, another tag read, Approved for reconstruction therapy, client, Julia Cole. His stomach lurched. Julia. His ex-wife had filed the application. He rewound, watching again. The timestamp matched the week after their divorce, when she'd stopped answering his calls. The camera panned to show two figures in lab coats. One of them was Dr. Vale, head of Regan Biotech, her clipped voice audible through the static. The grief program needs closure candidates, she said. If the subject consents to replication, we can accelerate therapy success rates. The other replied, he won't consent. Dr. Vale smiled faintly. Then we'll use a posthumous authorization. People grieve faster when the dead forgive them. Nathan slammed the laptop shut, breath ragged. His reflection in the black screen looked unrecognizable, eyes hollow, jaw trembling. The words posthumous authorization looped in his head until they didn't feel real. He hadn't died. He hadn't signed anything. Someone had used his face to help his ex-wife move on. He grabbed his jacket and keys, barely feeling the night air as he drove through the city. Regan Biotech loomed on the horizon, tall, glass, clinical, the same building that had erased him. He parked blocks away, heart pounding so loud it blurred into the hum of traffic. Cameras lined the entryways, eyes made of red light. He waited until a delivery truck pulled up, slipped behind it, and walked fast toward the loading dock. The security door clicked open briefly, long enough for him to slide inside. Inside, the halls were silent, the kind of silence that hums with machinery and secrets. He moved quickly, following the glow of emergency lights until he found a directory. Memory Therapy Division, Level 3. He followed the signs down a narrow stairwell, every step echoing like a heartbeat. He reached a locked glass door labeled Authorized Personnel Only. A scanner sat beside it. He hesitated, then pressed his thumb against the reader just to try. It blinked red, then, to his horror, turned green. The door slid open. His biometrics were still registered. He stepped inside. The lab was clean, bright, and horrifyingly familiar. Rows of holographic faces floated in suspended light, hundreds of rotating 3D models. Men, women, children, each tagged with data codes and emotional markers, client loss type, spousal, parental, child. His skin prickled. Every face was someone's ghost brought back for profit. He walked deeper, scanning the displays until he froze. There it was. Subject 9A. His own face hovered midair, expression neutral, eyes lifeless. Beneath the projection, lines of code scrolled like scripture. He reached out. The hologram's surface flickered under his fingers, cold light against warm skin. The label beneath updated automatically. Usage, active. Status, integrated. Integrated, he whispered. A voice behind him answered, calm and female. It means you're in use.
He spun.
Dr. Vale stood near the doorway, lab coat pristine, her face calm, as if this were an appointment she'd been expecting. You shouldn't be here, Nathan, she said. How do you know my name? Your property, she said simply. Your data, your likeness, your neural map, all registered under the reconstruction license your wife signed. My wife. She nodded. Julia Cole. She was one of our grief clients. After your unfortunate accident, she entered therapy. The replication program allows clients to interact with realistic digital or biological simulations of their lost loved ones. It helps them let go. Nathan's breath came uneven. I didn't die. Her smile didn't change. The system needed your absence to stabilize her recovery. So, technically, you did. You stole my life. We restored hers. He stepped closer, anger rising. You made someone else me. You let him live with her. Dr. Vale's expression softened just slightly, pity, maybe performance. You were a perfect candidate, Nathan. High memory coherence, clean facial symmetry, emotionally familiar. You gave her a version of you that didn't break.
He grabbed her wrist.
Where is he? She didn't flinch. He's not who you think he is. I said, where? She glanced at the hologram of his face. He lives under your name, your records, your house. To her, he is Nathan Cole. Nathan released her, trembling. Then who am I? Dr. Vale studied him with scientific curiosity. The original template. A redundant file. Something inside him cracked. Erase me from your system, he said. She shook her head. Impossible. You're linked to her therapeutic outcome. If we delete you, the replica destabilizes. Julia could relapse grief, psychosis, even self-harm. You'd kill her. He stared at her, disbelief turning to nausea. So, I'm trapped between her healing and my existence. You were already gone, she said gently. We just made peace with it for you. Her calmness shattered something in him. He backed away slowly, his reflection multiplying across every glass panel, hundreds of Nathans staring back, each one silent, each one useless. He turned and ran. The alarm triggered almost instantly. Red lights flashed across the hall. He sprinted past the holograms, faces flickering as the system began to lock down. A robotic voice announced, "Unauthorized retrieval detected." He reached the stairs, grabbed the railing, and stumbled down as sirens wailed above him. When he burst through the exit, the night air felt electric. He didn't stop until he was blocks away, collapsing against a wall, gasping for breath. He opened his hand, still clutching the flash drive he'd copied earlier. Inside it were the files tying Julia's therapy to his stolen face. He looked up at the city skyline, glass towers reflecting his pale image over and over. In every pane, his face existed without belonging. A screen in a storefront flickered, catching his eye. The news anchor's voice was calm, detached. Regan Biotech expands its grief reconstruction program after record client success rates. The footage showed smiling couples reuniting, holograms, simulations, ghosts of the living. And in one frame, he saw it, Julia holding hands with him. Not the man standing in the street, but the one smiling beside her. He stepped closer to the screen until his reflection merged with the image of the other him. For a fleeting second, they became one. Then the broadcast cut to black. Nathan's voice trembled as he whispered, "She didn't heal. She replaced me." The reflection on the dark glass flickered, as if answering with a smile that wasn't his. Chapter 4, The Confrontation, 1,000 words. Why do you have my eyes? Nathan's voice cracked as the man across the room turned toward him. They stood face to face for the first time, identical in every way except for the calmness in the other's expression. The replica's movements were steady, rehearsed, too practiced for a stranger and too foreign for Nathan to recognize himself in. For a moment, they both just stared, two versions of one existence caught in the same breath of silence. The replica smiled first. "You must be Nathan Cole." His tone was polite, almost sympathetic. "I've been expecting you." Nathan stepped closer, his pulse pounding so loud it drowned every thought. "You're wearing my life," he said, voice trembling with rage. "My name, my face, my home, even her." "I didn't steal anything," the replica replied. "You gave it up. That's a lie." "Maybe," the replica said quietly, "but Julia needed peace. And you." He gestured toward Nathan's shaking hands. "You never learned how to give it to her." Nathan's jaw clenched. The words struck deeper than he expected. The apartment looked too familiar. The furniture, the framed photo on the wall, the faint smell of the candle Julia used to light after arguments. He'd broken that candle once during a fight. Now it sat whole again, lit, its flame steady between them like judgment. "How long have you been living here?" 6 months, the replica said, unbothered. "Since your accident." "I didn't have an accident." "That's what you keep saying." Nathan lunged forward, grabbing the replica by the collar, pulling him close until their faces nearly touched. "Who are you?" "I'm you," the man said softly, almost pitying. "The better version." The words landed like a punch. Nathan shoved him back. "You're a copy. A puppet. You don't bleed. You don't remember how it feels to lose everything." The replica straightened his collar, eyes steady. "I remember enough. The pain, the guilt, the way she cried when you left. They gave me your memories because she couldn't live with the silence. I was made to fix what you broke." Nathan's breath hitched. "They gave you my memories?"
"Yes."
"Every thought, every failure, every lie you told yourself. I am your history, just without your chaos." He moved toward a nearby table and picked up a photograph. Julia stood beside him in it, or rather beside the version of him that smiled with practiced ease. "She believes I'm you," the replica said. "And in every way that matters, I am." Nathan's chest burned. "You're not her husband. I'm her piece." The room spun. Nathan felt his knees weaken, but he steadied himself on the counter. "You can't keep living like this," he said. "It's wrong. You're not real." The replica tilted his head, studying him. "And what are you, Nathan?" "The world says you're dead. Your records, your reflection, your name, all erased. So, if I'm not real, what does that make you?" Nathan didn't answer. His mind replayed the death certificate, the obituary, Julia's new wedding photos. Every proof of his existence had been overwritten. The replica's voice softened. "You came back to destroy her peace, but all you'll do is remind her of the pain she paid to forget." "Then I'll make her remember," Nathan said. The replica sighed. "You think she wants to?" "She begged them to erase the part of you that couldn't let go." The air in the room thickened. Nathan's hands shook as he glanced at the door. Escape or attack, he wasn't sure. "You don't get to decide who I am." "I already did," the replica said, stepping closer. "When I chose to live." Rage broke through Nathan's restraint. He swung, a desperate, messy punch, and it connected, knocking the replica into the wall. The sound of impact echoed through the apartment. For a second, Nathan expected to see sparks, wires, something mechanical. But instead, blood trickled from the replica's lip. Real.
Warm.
Human. Nathan froze. "You bleed." "I told you," the replica said, wiping his mouth. "I'm not a machine. I was printed from your cells. I'm flesh. Memory. Everything you were, refined." Nathan's stomach turned. "So they cloned me."
"They saved you," the replica said.
"You were broken." Julia couldn't move on. Now she has someone who doesn't hurt her. Isn't that mercy? "It's theft," Nathan whispered. "You didn't save her. You buried her inside a lie." The replica's face darkened, the practiced calm beginning to crack. "Do you know what she said the night she signed for me?" She said, "I want to remember him without the pain." "You were the pain, Nathan. Not the love. Just the wound." Nathan's vision blurred. The words struck like glass shattering inside him. He stepped back, shaking his head. "You can keep her fake peace. But you don't get my soul." The replica's eyes flickered with something. Regret, maybe fear. You can't exist outside this lie. The system will erase you. You're already an error they're trying to correct. Then let them try. For a long moment, neither moved. The candle between them burned lower, the flame flickering as if suffocating. Nathan could feel his pulse in every vein, every echo of shared DNA between them. Two men. One life. One lie. The replica exhaled. If you love her, let her forget. Nathan's voice broke. If you love her, tell her the truth. Silence. Then, for the first time, the replica's mask slipped. He turned toward the window, staring at the faint reflection of both their faces merging in the glass. If she sees us together, he said quietly, she'll break. Her mind won't survive the conflict. That's why they keep me hidden. Then maybe it's time she saw what she's living with. The replica turned back sharply. You don't understand. The therapy isn't just emotional, it's biological. Her body reacts to my presence like it did to yours. You appear, the illusion fails. It could kill her. Nathan took a step forward. Then she deserves to choose what truth kills her. The replica's composure cracked completely. You think the truth fixes things? You couldn't even fix yourself, he shouted. His voice trembled, eyes glistening with something dangerously human. I remember everything you did, every failure, every moment she begged you to change. I am your guilt, Nathan. I just learned to live with it. Nathan stared at him, the fury fading, replaced by something heavier. Pity. No, he said quietly. You're just a shadow. The replica looked away, shaking. You shouldn't have come here. Nathan turned toward the door, hand gripping the knob. Neither should you have. Behind him, the replica whispered, if you walk out that door, they'll come for you. Nathan paused, half turning. Then tell them I'm coming first. He stepped outside into the night, the door closing softly behind him. The sound lingered like an ending that didn't know it had begun. The air felt heavier now, the same city lights shining, but nothing looked alive. Across the street, a reflection in a car window showed both of them again, one inside, one outside, indistinguishable. Nathan's voice trembled in the dark. I just wanted my life back. And from the reflection, barely audible, came a whisper that wasn't his own. So did I.